Hello, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so by clicking on the subscribe button below. Hello friends, in this video I will discuss 20 Hollywood movies that I have watched and enjoyed so much that I watch them again and again. Some of the films I will discuss may be in a foreign language, but they have English subtitles. The films I love are mainly of the following genre: romance, action, drama, thriller. Sometimes I may also enjoy comedy, mystery, and crime movies. So I'm open to any genre as long as I find the movie interesting. Any movie that depicts ordinary life, ordinary romance, or mindless violence, or just ordinary sequence of events bores me. The movies I'm about to disclose to you are not all new, some are old, but they are all worth watching not only once, but again and again. In fact, some movies are so good that I have watched them numerous times. There are many lists on the internet of many movies, but this list I'm going to give to you consists of movies that I have watched myself and recommend personally. Some movies are old and I watched them a long time ago, but they made such an impression on me that I never forgot about them and are listing them here. Some are old, but I watched them recently. Also, right now we are going through pandemic and many people are stuck at home. They are working from home. They are bored. They have very little human interaction. So right now actually is a wonderful time to watch some great movies, but you don't want to go and watch any movie and waste your time. So view this video and learn about 20 movies I'm going to present to you. Collateral, 2004 movie, directed by Michael Mann and starring Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx. Collateral is a 2004 American action thriller movie directed and produced by Michael Mann and starring Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx. It follows Max, a Los Angeles cab driver, and his customer Vincent. When offered a high fare for driving to several locations, Max agrees but soon finds himself taken hostage by Vincent, who turns out to be a hitman on a contract killing spree. This action movie will have you glued to your seat for hours. You will want to watch it again and again. A still from this movie follows. Godfather, 1972 movie, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, starring Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, Robert Duvall, and others. Godfather is a 1972 American crime film directed by Francis Ford Coppola. It is based on Mario Puzo's best-selling novel of the same name. It is the first installment in the Godfather trilogy. The film has many actors including Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, Robert Duvall, and Diane Keaton. The story chronicles the Corleone family under Patriarch Vito Corleone, that is Brando, focusing on the transformation of one of his sons, Michael Corleone, that is Al Pacino, from reluctant family outsider to ruthless mafia boss. Here is a still from this movie. Gone with the Wind, 1939 movie, directed by Victor Fleming, starring Clark Gable, Vivian Leigh, and others. Gone with the Wind is a 1939 American historical romance film adapted from the 1936 novel by Margaret Mitchell, set in the American South against the backdrop of the American Civil War and the Reconstruction era. The film tells the story of Scarlett O'Hara, the strong-willed daughter of a Georgia plantation owner. It follows her romantic pursuit of Ashley Wilkes, who is married to his cousin Melanie Hamilton. Scarlett marries Rhett Butler, but the marriage is rocky. The leading roles are played by Vivian Leigh as Scarlett, Clark Gable as Rhett, Leslie Howard as Ashley, and Olivia de Havilland as Melanie. We present a still from this great movie. Parasite, 2019 movie, directed by Bong Joon-ho, starring Song Kang-ho, Lee Sun-kwon, et al. South Korean film Parasite is a black comedy thriller about a poor family that infiltrates a wealthy household by gaining employment as staff. The film premiered at the 2019 Cannes Film Festival, where it won the Palme d'Or award, becoming the first Korean film to receive this award and the first film to do so with a unanimous vote since 2013. On June 16, 2019, the film won the $60,000 Sydney Film Prize at the Sydney Film Festival. Through an elaborate and ingenious scheme, the poor Kim family managed to trick the affluent and naive Park family into making them their servants. But unbeknownst to the Kims, the Park house harbors a dark secret which could cause the collapse of the newly formed symbiosis. A Streetcar Named Desire, 1951 movie, directed by Elia Kazan, starring Marlon Brando, Vivian Leigh, Carl Malden. A Streetcar Named Desire. A lonely and fragile southern lady moves in with her sister in New Orleans. She is desperate to maintain her fraying sanity, but suffers her brutish brother-in-law's relentless badgering attempts, which eventually lead her to madness. It shows Marlon Brando as a brute who drives the sister of his wife out of his home. He ruins her chance of getting married to his co-worker by telling him about her bad past. Here is a photo from this great movie. Fargo, 1996 movie, directed by Joel and Ethan Cohen, starring Frances McDormand. Fargo is a 1996 black comedy thriller film. Frances McDormand stars as Margie Gunderson, a pregnant Minnesota police chief investigating roadside homicides that ensue after a desperate car salesman hires two criminals to kidnap his wife in order to extort a hefty ransom from his wealthy father-in-law. A critical and commercial success, Fargo received 7 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture. McDormand received the Academy Award for Best Actress, and Coens won the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. Here is a scene from the movie. Psycho, 1951 movie, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, starring Anthony Perkins, Janet Leigh. Psycho is a 1960 American psychological thriller film directed and produced by Alfred Hitchcock. It stars Anthony Perkins, Janet Leigh, and was based on the 1959 novel of the same name by Robert Bloch. The film centers on an encounter between a secretary, Marion Crane, that is Janet Leigh, who ends up at a secluded motel after stealing money from her employer, and the motel's owner-manager, Norman Bates, played by Anthony Perkins, and its aftermath. Here is a still photo from this great movie. The Road to Perdition, 2002 movie, directed by Sam Mendes, starring Tom Hanks, Paul Newman. Road to Perdition is a 2002 American crime film directed by Sam Mendes. The film stars Tom Hanks, Paul Newman, Jude Law, and Daniel Craig. The plot takes place in 1931 during the Great Depression, following a mob enforcer and his son as they seek vengeance against a mobster who murdered the rest of their family. Here is a still. The Client, 1994 movie, directed by Joel Schumacher, starring Susan Sarandon and Tommy Lee Jones. The Client is a 1994 American legal thriller film directed by Joel Schumacher and starring Susan Sarandon, Tommy Lee Jones. It is based on the novel by John Grisham. 11-year-old Mark Sway and his little brother Ricky are smoking cigarettes in the woods near their home when they encounter mob lawyer Clifford. Clifford tells Mark that he is about to kill himself to avoid being murdered by Barry the Blade Muldano, the nephew of notorious mob kingpin Johnny Solari. Ricky becomes catatonic after witnessing the suicide and is hospitalized at a hospital. Authorities and the mob realized that Clifford may have told Mark. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, 1966 movie, directed by Sergio Leone, starring Clint Eastwood as the good, Lee Van Cleef as the bad, and Eli Wallach as the ugly. The good, the bad, and the ugly. This film is known for use of long shots and close-up cinematography, as well as distinctive use of violence, tension, and stylistic gunfights. The plot revolves around three gunslingers competing to find fortune in a buried cache of Confederate gold amid the violent chaos of the American Civil War, while participating in many battles and duels along the way. The film was a financial success, grossing over $25 million at the box office, and is credited with having catapulted Eastwood into stardom. Italian Job, 2003 movie, directed by F. Gary Gray, starring Mark Wahlberg, Charlize Theron, Edward Norton et al. The Italian Job is a 2003 American heist action thriller film directed by F. Gary Gray and starring Mark Wahlberg, Charlize Theron, and others. An American remake of the 1969 British film. The plot follows a motley crew of thieves who plan to steal gold from a former associate who double-crossed them. Despite the shared title, the plot and characters of this film differ from those of its source material. Gray described the film as, quote, an homage to the original, unquote. My Fair Lady, 1964 movie, directed by George Cukor, starring Audrey Hepburn as Eliza Doolittle and Rex Harrison as Henry Higgins. My Fair Lady is a 1964 American musical comedy drama film based on George Bernard Shaw's 1913 stage play, Pygmalion. The film depicts a poor Cockney flower seller named Eliza Doolittle who overhears an arrogant phonetics professor, Henry Higgins, as he casually waggers that he could teach her to speak proper English, thereby making her presentable in the high society of Edwardian London. The Shawshank Redemption, 1994 movie, directed by Frank Darabont, starring Tim Robbins, Morgan Freeman, Bob Gunton, and others. The Shawshank Redemption is a 1994 American drama film. It tells the story of banker Andy, that is Tim Robbins, who is sentenced to life in Shawshank State Penitentiary for the murders of his wife and her lover, despite his claims of innocence. Over the following 2 decades, he befriends a fellow prisoner, contraband smuggler Ellis Redding, that is Morgan Freeman. These 2 men bond over a number of years, finding solace and eventual redemption through acts of common decency. Titanic, 1997 movie, directed by James Cameron, starring Leonardo DiCaprio as Jack Dawson, Kate Winslet as Rose DeWitt Bukater. Titanic is a 1997 American epic romance and disaster film incorporating both historical and fictionalized aspects. The film is based on accounts of the sinking of the RMS Titanic and stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet as members of different social classes who fall in love aboard the ship during its ill-fated maiden voyage. True Lies, 1994 movie, directed by James Cameron, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis et al. True Lies is a 1994 American action comedy film. It stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis, and others. It is based on the 1991 French comedy film La Totale. The film follows U.S. government agent Harry Tasker, that is, Schwarzenegger, who struggles to balance his life as a spy with his familial duties. 12 Angry Men, 1957 movie, directed by Sidney Lumet, starring Henry Fonda, Lee Cobb, and others. 12 Angry Men is a 1957 American courtroom drama film. This courtroom drama tells the story of a jury of 12 men as they deliberate the conviction or acquittal of an 18-year-old defendant on the basis of reasonable doubt, forcing the jurors to question their morals and values. 12 Angry Men explores many techniques of consensus building and the difficulties encountered in the process among this group of men whose range of personalities adds to the intensity and conflict. It also explores the power one person has to elicit change. The jury members are identified only by number. No names are revealed until an exchange of dialogue at the very end. The film forces the characters and audience to evaluate their own self-image through observing the personality, experiences, and actions of the jurors. The film is also notable for its almost exclusive use of one set, where all but 3 minutes of the film takes place. This is an interesting movie. A Beautiful Mind, 2001 movie, directed by Ron Howard, starring Russell Crowe as John Nash, Ed Harris as William Parcher, Jennifer Connelly as Alicia Nash. A Beautiful Mind is a 2001 American biographical drama film, a human drama inspired by events in the life of John Nash Jr. and in part based on the biography A Beautiful Mind by Sylvia Nasser. From the heights of notoriety to the depths of depravity, John Forbes Nash Jr. experienced it all. A mathematical genius, he made an astonishing discovery early in his career and stood on the brink of international acclaim. But the handsome and arrogant Nash soon found himself on a painful and harrowing journey of self-discovery. The Exorcist, 1973 movie, directed by William Friedkin, starring Elaine Burstyn, Max von Sydow. The Exorcist is a 1973 American supernatural horror film directed by William Friedkin. It is the first installment in the Exorcist film series and follows the demonic possession of a 12-year-old girl and her mother's attempt to rescue her through an exorcism conducted by two priests. It is a very entertaining film. You will want to watch it again and again. Of Mice and Men 1992 movie, directed by Gary Sinise, starring Gary Sinise as George Milton, John Malkovich as Lenny Small. Of Mice and Men is a 1992 American period drama film based on John Steinbeck's 1937 novella of the same name. Its plot centers on George and the intellectually disabled Lenny, two farm workers who travel together and dream of one day owning their own land. The film explored themes of discrimination, loneliness, and the American dream. Of Mice and Men took part in the 1992 Cannes Film Festival, where Sinise was nominated for the Palme d'Or Award, given to the director of the Best Feature Film. After the film debuted in the United States, it received acclaim from critics. The Hunt for Red October 1990 movie, directed by John McTiernan, starring Sean Connery, Alec Baldwin, et al. The Hunt for Red October is a 1990 American submarine spy thriller movie. The film is an adaptation of Tom Clancy's 1984 best-selling novel of the same name. It is the first installment of the Jack Ryan film series. The story is set during the late Cold War era and involves a rogue Soviet naval captain who wishes to defect to the United States with his officers and the Soviet Navy's newest and most advanced nuclear missile submarine, a fictional improvement on the Soviet ICBM-capable Typhoon-class submarine. Hello. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so by clicking on the subscribe button below. You should also share this video with your friends by clicking on the share button below. You can share it via WhatsApp, via Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or via email. Please also write your thoughts in the comment section below so that others may benefit from your thoughts. You can also click on the bell icon so that you will be informed when I post new videos. Thank you.